But right now, let's look a little closer at the light bulb before we get into the 10 tips for filmmaking.
You said this video could be about puppets!
No, I didn't. I don't even know anything about puppetry.
You're the worst human I know.
Well, really, I'm the only human you know, so in a way that makes
Worst human.
I found these colored RGB bulbs on Amazon and I really like them. They're durable, they're plastic, and they don't put out much heat. They have vibrant colors and a 75 watt equivalent warm white light that you can use like a normal light. Plus, you can use the remote to dim the light. The remote also has some color flashing and some smooth color transition settings, plus a strobe button that only works with the white light. I wish it could strobe the colored lights too, but this particular bulb won't. As far as flicker on camera that you sometimes get from LED light, this one's pretty good. I'm using a Sony a7S II, and I usually shoot at 1/50th shutter speed, but I've tried setting it from 1/5 all the way up to 1/2000th, and I never saw any flicker when the light was on full brightness, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Flicker!
I'm trying to do this.
There's flicker.
Oh wow, he's right. Okay. I found that when they're set to full brightness, I basically get no flicker, but when I use the remote to dim the bulb, I start to see some flicker. I can play around with the shutter speed and adjust some of it out, but it looks like these bulbs are going to work best for video when they're at full brightness, but they're still a good little light for filmmaking, and you'll notice there's virtually no flicker in the 10 filmmaking tips that I have coming up.
You're blowing this video.
I'm not blowing it, that's the whole point. These lights are only like $7 a piece, so they're a good alternative if you can't spend hundreds of dollars on studio RGB lights. Let's take a look inside the bulb and see how they work. There are 14 LEDs that create the white light and 5 that create the colored light. I've noticed that the bulb gets a lot warmer when it's set to white than it does when it's set to color, but it still doesn't get hot. I should also mention that the voltage on the box says it can work with 95 to 245 volts, so I believe even if you're in a country that uses only 220 voltage, this bulb should work for you. There are 9 colors that you can set the bulb to with the remote, plus a warm white light. I'm putting a link below to where I bought the bulbs in case you want to check it out. These RGB bulbs can be used anywhere that you want to add some color accent or enhance the background of a scene, but let's look at 10 specific ways to use these RGB bulbs in filmmaking. This video was made during the COVID pandemic, so I'm going to be showing you these by myself. If you can get a helper when you do these, some of these would be even easier to do than what I'm showing. Okay, number 1 is a computer light or screen light. Like if you just need to add a little more colored light that is coming out of a laptop screen or something like that. Number 2 on our list is police lights. These Yang CSLs can't be programmed to flash back and forth between red and blue, but it can be done manually. In this shot, I had 2 bulbs set up and used 2 remotes to alternate them. By the way, the remotes work with any of the bulbs, so if you bought a 4-pack of bulbs, it would come with 4 remotes, but any remote works with any of the bulbs or all of the bulbs. Number 3, security alarm lights. Like those movie scenes where someone gets detected breaking into a criminal warehouse or something, and if you get these light cages, it makes it look even more legit. Number 4, colored softboxes. You can load up your softbox fixtures with these and have instant colored light ready to use and change at the push of a button.
Wait a minute, is she a puppet?
No, that's a mannequin.
That's a puppet.
Number 5 is just using them for a strong color contrast. Whether you just want a strong blue hair light or a hot and cold contrast to manipulate the emotion of a scene, these lights can be a quick way to get some major color contrast. This example is pretty extreme and you might want to have a little bit of a white light on the face just to keep some of the skin tones. Number 6 is a lightning flash. These remotes have a flashing function that will strobe the white light. You can't do it on the colored lights, but it works okay for a lightning flash. You just set it to strobe and then use the remote to turn the light on and off. When you turn the light on, it comes on in the setting that was last in, so in this case, it strobes. This can simulate lightning, and you can even put a gel over it to get a little bit of color out of the white light. Number 7, a club setting. There's a button on the remote that makes the bulbs flash through all of the colors. You can use the up and down buttons while it's flashing to control the speed that it'll flash. The other cool thing about this is that if you're flashing several bulbs and start them at the same time, they will blink simultaneously for a long time. I ran 4 bulbs for over 30 minutes and they remained synchronized. If you want to stagger their blinking, you can just start them at different times. So for a club scene, you get some good colored blinking lights coming from all different directions, and you can make it look like your actor is at a nightclub. Add a little bit of smoke to that and catch even more of the color changes. Now this leads us into number 8, a dance floor.
That is messed up right there.
Basically, it's the same blinking light settings as number 7, but if you were trying to make a scene of someone walking across a dance floor or maybe talking to someone on the dance floor, you could use these lights instead of renting or buying actual stage lights. It would be much cheaper and you can get some nice results. Number 9 is silhouettes. This could be nice for a music video or something like that. I used a shower curtain and I stretched it tight on some light stands, and then I took 2 soft boxes and put 3 bulbs in each one. I moved them back about 6 feet from the shower curtain and spaced and angled them as good as I could to get a fairly even spread of light across the shower curtain. You can walk behind the shower curtain and get a shadow, but I really liked the sharp silhouette from being in front. And number 10, fire. You can set these lights to yellow or orange and cast some flickering shadows on the face of your actor to make it look like they're next to a campfire or torch or something. Experiment to see what gets you the best results, but I seem to do best with just my fingers. I used 1 light bulb and moved it around a little bit so that the shadows would move around on the face. Then I tried 2 light bulbs and got even better results. There are a lot of other uses for these RGB bulbs, but this was our top 10 list. If you have any more ideas or better ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Maybe they need to be in the top 10 list.